So we start the fourth chapter. The fourth chapter is glorification of self realization. Like in the third chapter, you will remember that Astavakra was criticizing Janak. He was condemning Janak, and in some ways he was very you know satiristically talking to Janak. You know, trying to test him. It was the test of self knowledge. Like
Las corrientes oceánicas concentran los nutrientes en
hello, can you keep your mic muted? Huh? Thank you. So uh, the third chapter was where Janaka was tested, and Ashtavakra uh, used this method of criticizing Janak, that a self-realized person should be like this. He should be pure. He should be always situated in the self. But you see, you how do you get attached? How do you have this hankering towards desire? So this kind of thing, Ashtavakra used just to test Janak, to see what Janak says or what is his reaction. So from the reaction, he will understand the extent of depth Janak had during his self knowledge. So after Ashtavakra had said his things, he has said whatever he has to say. Now Janak is responding. So it's the fourth chapter, glorification of self knowledge. So now he's talking about self knowledge, Janak, and by his words, he is trying to communicate to Ashtavakra that uh, whatever he had, whatever Ashtavakra had taught him, he have uh, he have accepted that, he have stood upon that, and he have realized that, and that is what he is trying to convey. So the first verse of the fourth chapter, glorification of self, Janak Ubacha, that is Janak is saying. He says, Hantatma yagyasya dhirasya khelato bhog leelaya nahi sangsara vahi kai mudhei saha samanata. He says that the self knowledge, a person who has attained self knowledge, a person who is an enlightened soul, he and a person who is worldly, who is not enlightened soul, both of them, apparently they seem to do the same thing, because when a man gets self realized, it doesn't happen that he just refuses to work. He he stops working and he just spends all day in meditation. It's not like that. He has a life, and he has to go through all his all his all the aspects of his life. He has to work, he has to be, he has a family, he has to he has to mix with the family, with the family members. He has friends. So everywhere, he appears as if he's a very common man, the same man who he used to be before enlightenment. He appears like this, but he's not the same. So Janak says that though these two people, one is enlightened and the other is unenlightened. So the enlightened will work in this world just to exhaust his past karmas. That's all. He does not create new karma. He does not enjoy the effects of, he does not enjoy the results of karma, nor does he work to enjoy the results of karma. He knows the truth. Because he knows the truth, he knows that he is not the doer, and because he is not the doer, so he is not the enjoyer also, nor he is the sufferer. So then what he does is, all the actions that he has done before, they have a consequence, they have a result, and the result of action is also actions. So these actions are, you know actions are there with him to be to be done, to be completed. So he just, completes all those past karmas. That's all. He completes all those assignments which he had before. He does not take a new assignment. We can put it in this way, that every day we are assigned new job, every day we are assigned new work, and it's an ongoing process. But an enlightened soul, he stops having new assignments. So what does it do? Till he is in his body, he just completes all those assignments given to him, which were given to him. And once all these works are complete, then he leaves his body. And while doing this, he might appear as if he's the same as any worldly person, but he is not worldly. He's not worldly. He's always focused on his self. He's always focused on himself. He's always focused on truth. He always knows that he's the self. He's not the doer. Though we may see him to be very busy, very occupied, very engaged in his endeavors, but he is very clear to himself that he is not the doer. He is not the doer. He's not the enjoyer. He's not the sufferer. He's always free. And while he is working, you know, uh, if another person who is an unenlightened soul, who is working, parallel to him, they might seem to be very similar. They might seem to be very similar from the outside, from the surface, but from the inside, the person who is an unenlightened soul, he is only, he's only a beast. He's just carrying the burden of this world. He's carrying the burden of his karmas. Here it is referred to him as a beast. Beast means a person who does not know the purpose of his life. A person who does not know the nature, his real nature. And that is why he is a beast. And that is why he is beast. But an enlightened soul is an angel, is a devata, is a lord, is a deity. Is a deity. In him, there is all divine qualities. So that is what Janak is saying. That though I might appear to be very worldly while I'm engaged in my in my day-to-day activity, but oh master, I know that I am not the doer. I know that I am not the doer. I am always the self. I'm always the self. In no time, I have this ownership. I have this ownership that I'm the doer and this belongs to me. I always know that I'm free from all this. I'm free from all this. I'm the self. I'm the self. I am beyond all this. So this is the first, you know, exp- exclamation of Janak. Janak is exclaiming that this is what it is. I am. I have started to feel myself to be like this. Before I did not feel myself like this, but now I can feel myself as I am this. Then he says, "Yat padam prepsavo dina शर्काद्या सर्वदेवताः अहो तत्रो स्थितो योगी न हर्षम upagachati." In India we have the mythology. So we have this, devata, that is this lords. We have a swarga, that is heaven, and the swarga is ruled by the Lord, the king of the lords. He's called Indra. So he is ruled by, the Swarga is ruled by Indra, and there are all many other lords. They are they enjoy the heaven, but they are not self-realized soul. They are pious. They are good people. They are noble people, but they are not self-realized. They are not complete. They are not liberated soul. So, but a person who lives in the world, who goes through this process of self realization, he attains liberation, and he becomes, greater than these lords. He's considered to be, higher than the lords. Okay, a rishi is much more higher than a rishi, or the seer of truth is much more higher than the lords of the heaven. So Janak is saying, Yad Padam Prapsavo Deva Dina uh, Sharkadya Sarva Devataha. These all these lords, starting from Indra, who is the king of these lords, whatever they have attained, whatever they have attained prosperity, they have attained enjoyment, worldly enjoyment, but they are very miserable, they're pitiful. I pity them because they're all scared of losing this. They're enjoying the heaven. They are the kings, and they're the ministers. They're the kings, and they're the ministers of the heaven. They're very powerful, but this power, but even they have this power, they are all scared. They're hiding behind their power. They are scared of losing this because they know that this is not the ultimate, this is not the absolute. We are going to lose this one day. But a self realized soul, an enlightened soul, when he attains this serenity, this peace, this knowledge, when he attains this fulfillment, this completeness within him, when he attains this completeness, this fulfillment within him, he does not fear. Why? Because he knows that this is my knowledge, this is my nature. I did not acquire it, it is already within me. It's not outside of me, it's within me, it's me. I have i have attained myself. I have attained something which is not going to leave me forever. It's always going to stay with me. So I don't need to fear of losing this. Jnanam Saddhavana lavate jnanam tatpara sanjitendriya jnanam labdha param shantim. With this knowledge of the self, you attain absolute peace. Param, that is absolute, means when you attain this peace will never translate itself into anxiety. This peace is always going to stay with you. When you attain this samadhi, when you attain this absolute samadhi, the state of super consciousness, this absolute state of super consciousness is not going to break. You are going to, remain in that state of absolute consciousness forever, forever. You know, even if you attain this at the very end of your life, even if you attain this at the very end of your life, then also it is going to, it is going to sthitva shanta kalopi brahma nirvana mrichati. Even if you attain it at the end of your life, then also it's going to stay with you forever. It's not going to leave you. It's not going to leave you. So, and that is why he does not have any, a self-realized person does not have any fear. Everybody else does. Everybody else has this, fear of losing. Even the gods, the lords, the gods of in the heaven, they also have the fear of losing. They also did not go beyond desires. They also, they are also in the circle of this desire. But a self realized soul has gone beyond this desire. He does not have any desire. And because of this, he does not have any fear. So Janak says, Yat padam prepsasho dina sarkadya sarva devataha ato tatro stito yogi na harsham upagachati. A yogi who is always established into the self. What kind of happiness will these things, these prosperity of the world bring to him? He doesn't care. He doesn't care for this. He doesn't care for the austerity, the prosperity which are in this world, these riches, this all this fabulous temptations. He does not get tempted. He does not get tempted because he's always situated in himself. He's complete. He knows that these are all false, though they are all though they are all attracting, though they are all tempting. They seem very very attractive. They seem very very shining. But a self-realized soul can see beyond those, can see the darkness beyond those, and that is why he is not attracted towards that. And that is why he says, Yat padam prepsasho dina sarkadya sarva devataha aho tatro sthito yogi na hrisham na hrisham upagachati. A yogi, when he's situated in his own space, in his own knowledge, he does not get distracted by the prosperity of this world, and he doesn't become anxious, or he does not become attracted, attached to anything. He's always situated in himself. Then it says, when I was reading this line, that is when I thought about starting this Upanishad, Kathopanishad. Because in the Kathopanishad there is this little boy called Nachiketa. He was sent to the house of Yama, the Lord of Death. And the Lord of Death, he bestowed him with three boons. So he asked two boons, first of all, about his father, about himself. And on the third boon, he asked the knowledge of the self. Yeyam prete bichikitsa manushe astityeke nayam astiti chaike. He's saying that, curator. Huh? Please mute your mic. So uh, he says that, we hear, Nachiketa is saying that we hear in this world that there is one truth, there is this self, this consciousness, which is, which remains after death. And there are some who says that no, there is no consciousness. Nothing exists after death. Everything, ends after death. So I want to know the truth of this. And Yama gave him all kind of temptations. Ye kama durlabha manushe. It means whatever desires are rare in this world, you can ask them. You can ask for wealth. You can ask for land. You can be the king of this world. You can have animals. You can have you can live as much as you like. You can have all your desires fulfilled. But Nachiketa stick to his question. He said, no, I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. What is the reality? What is the reality? And that is why everybody of us should know about Nachiketa. So when I was reading this one, this particular verse, Yat Padam Prepsasho Dina Sharkadya Sarva Devataha, that all these gods, the gods are like miserable. Why? Because they don't know what is the reality. And they're also, Yamraj was telling Nachiketa that whatever you have asked this question, these gods, they also don't know this. See, they're all enjoying. They're all having a very fabulous life. You can also have this kind of life. You just become these gods. But Nachiketa said, no, I want to know the truth. I don't want to have this kind of life. I want to know what is the truth. And then Yama, you know, told him the knowledge of the self in a beautiful poetry, in a form of poetry, which is called Kathopanishad. So that is why, when I was reading this, I thought of, you know, reciting this Kathopanishad to you so that you can also appreciate the beauty of the Upanishads. It's not hard, it's not tough, it's very easy. Then it says, तज यज्ञस्य पुण्य पापाभ्याम स्पर्शो ह्यंतर न जायते न ह्याकाशस्य धूमेन दृश्यमानपि संगति. It says that, for a self-realized person, punya and papa, that is virtue and vice. For a self-realized person, this worldly virtue and worldly vice, they do not touch him. They cannot touch him. He is well beyond the limitations of this worldly virtue and vice, good and bad, auspicious and inauspicious. He's beyond this. All these are worldly, relative, imagination. We imagine this is good, and we have imagined that is bad. So that became good and bad. But these are all worldly. So he says that a self-realized soul, a self-realized soul is never touched with the worldly good or bad, virtue or vice. Like na hyakashasya dhumena drishyamanapi sangati. Like when there is smoke which goes towards the which rises towards the sky. So when we see from here, from the ground, we see that the smoke has covered the sky. But can the smoke ever touch the sky? The sky always remains beyond those the smoke. The sky always remains untouched from the smoke. The smoke can never touch the sky. But from here we see, yes, the smoke has touched the sky. The smoke has covered the sky. In the same way, any worldly attribute, good or bad, they don't touch the self-realized soul. So now there is a question, if the virtues does not touch the self-realized soul, does the self-realized soul become morally anarchist? They become morally, they can do whatever they like because they are beyond virtue, they are beyond vice, so they can do whatever they like. It says no, not like that. It's true. It's true that a self-realized soul does not have any limitation. It's true that the self-realized soul has gone beyond virtue and vice, but his activities are like a master. His activities are like a master dancer. A master dancer. A master dancer can dance, according to her own tune, his or her own tune. She does not need anything. She's beyond all these what to say, these rules of dance. She can dance in any form, in any way, but she does not break any rules. And that is her mastery. So in the same way, a self-realized soul, though he is beyond virtue or vice, he does not break any law. He is not corrupted. He is not corrupted. He can, he is always beyond this. He does not need anything. He does not need anything. He is, he does not depend on anything. He does not depend on anything. He can, manifest the divine in his own way. He does not need any Upanishad. He does not need any scripture. He does not need any knowledge. His life, his work, his moving, his way of talking, everything, in every action of his, the divine is manifested. And that is what it means. Like, he is beyond virtue and vice. He does not need anything to to manifest virtue. He does not need anything to manifest virtue. In every aspect of his being, the divine is manifested. So this is what it says. Then it says, Atmai Vedam Jagat Sarvam Gyatam Yena Mahatmana Yadrichaya Vartamanam Tam Nishedam Shammetaka. It's the same thing. He says a person who has known the self, Atma, Atmai Vedam, Jagat Sarvam Gyatam Yena Mahatma. A person, Mahatma means a, uh, a, a super soul, a pious soul who knows that he and this world are the same. He's the same as the world. There is no difference. He's in the state of non-duality. He does not see any separation. So for this person, yadrichaya vartamanam tam nishedam shammetaka. So what kind of limitation can exist? What kind of limitation can exist for a man who knows that he is one with everything? There is no limitation. There is no limitation. There is no, there is no clause for this man. He is beyond everything. He is beyond it. Why? Because he knows that everything is him. Everything is him. There is nothing which is separated from him. And that is why he is the self. Yuktasa, yuktasa, sarva, yuktasa, what it says? Yuktasa sarva yogi samadarshana, sarvatra samadarshana. Yuktasa sarva, yuktasa sarva yuktasa sarva yogi sarvatra, whatever it was in Bhagavad Gita, I forgot now. So he says that a person who has realized the self, he does not have any limitation. He does not have any clause. He is free from everything. Abrahma stamba parjante bhut grame chaturvidhe vigyaseva hi samartham ichha nicha vivarjane. He said there are four kind of living being. There are four kind of living being from the Brahman to the from consciousness to matter. From consciousness to matter, there are four kinds of living being. One is Jara Yuja. Jara Yuja means Jara Yuja is those who are born in the womb of a mother, like human being. They are born in the womb of a mother. So they are Jara Yuja. Then there is Andaja. That is somebody who is born from eggs. It's called Andaja. Then Swedaja. Swedaja means the insects, the viruses, the flies, mosquitoes. They are born from like from sweats, uh, from warm vapor. So they are called Swedaja. And uh, and Udbhijada, Udbhidaja. That is, those which are born from seeds. Like the seeds, then it sprouts, it becomes saplings, then it becomes a plant, and then it becomes a tree. So there are four kinds of creature. There are four kinds of living being. So it says that within this four kind of living being, it is only the human being, it is only the self-realized human being who can discriminate within good and bad, who can discriminate within what he should do and what he should not do. you know Ichha anichha varjana. He can choose his desire and he can also, reject his desire. He can choose what is good for him or what is bad for him or not good for him. So, there are four kinds of, it's only the self realized soul who can choose this. And then it says, At, Atmanam Advayam Kanchin Kaschin Janati Jagadishwaram Yad Vetti Tatsa Kurute Na Bhayam Tatsa Kutra Chit. It says, a person who has known the self to be Advaya, that is non dual. A person who has known the self to be non dual. And, these people are very rare. It's not that everybody who knows the truth or who is a self realized soul knows the self to be non dual and the, the Lord of the universe. It is the source of this universe. It is the source of everything. So these people are very rare who knows himself to be non-dual and the source and the or the origination of the whole universe or the creator of this whole universe. Yadvetti tatsakurute na bhayam na bhayam tasya kutrachit. For these people, they do whatever is good for him and for everybody, whatever is just for him and for everybody, and they don't have any fear. So these are the response of Janaka to the satires or the criticism of Astavakra in the last chapter, when Astavakra was trying to figure out whether Janak has actually realized the self or not. So in this, the jubilee, the glorification of self-realization, Janak has, has expressed his his realizations, and he has confirmed that whatever Ashtavakra had said in the last chapter, he have realized them. You know, in the true spirit, in true spirit. So this is the end of the fourth chapter, the glorification of self-realization, and then we have this very very important chapter, that is four ways of dissolution, which we are going to discuss in our next session. Four ways of dissolution: dissolution of the ego, dissolution of the mind, dissolution of ignorance. To attain self knowledge, it is very necessary that you have dissolved all your ignorance, your ignorance, your mind, your your perception, that you are the self, you are the name and form, your perception that you are the body, your perception that you are the ego, you are the doer. All these perceptions, these has to be dissolved. These have to be dissolved. They come from ignorance. So the ignorance also has to dissolve. So this is the chapter, very important chapter, that we are going to discuss. The fourth chapter, the fifth chapter, that is the four ways of dissolution, in our next session. Thank you very much. If anybody has any question, you may ask.
And the book is in PDF to can follow the class, or
This is Astavakra Samhita. You can check whether it is available in PDF or not.
or
It's from
maybe to
Ramakrishna Mission.
yes, okay. Or to send the few pages of the next classes to read before, and then we can go more deep.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's meditate.
Okay.